Have you ever asked yourself, why are there people who become more successful and more loved, yet most of those who succeed end up alone, like lone wolves? The answer does not lie in how much money they earn or how many titles they have, but in a single key word that we will talk about today, which is also the topic of our conversation: character. Welcome to the Inner World Podcast. Today we will enter a very special part of the 21-session journey to elevate inner awareness. In the previous sessions, we explored wisdom, mindset, and true wealth from a state of living. Today's session will take you deeper into an essential foundation: character. Society teaches us many ways to become more skilled, more outstanding, but very few teach us how to become more trustworthy and more likable. The truth is, we learn how to stand out, but we forget to learn how to make others want to walk alongside us. This is why today's sharing is truly necessary. In a world noisy with achievements, a person with genuine humility is the one who stands out in a lasting way, not through outer flash, but through inner strength. In this video, you and I will explore what it means to have a solid character and why it is the root that nourishes the sweet fruit of all achievements. What makes a truly humble person attractive, without the need to prove or explain. The three structural layers that form a complete character, and which layer you are currently at. The clearest signs to recognize a humble person, not through words, but through presence. And finally, the life mindset that helps you maintain humility even when standing at the peak. My dear friend, if you have ever asked yourself, why am I successful and talented, yet so few walk alongside me? Then this is exactly the content you need to watch from start to finish. Because in the conclusion, I will share a special perspective to help you not only win others over, but also keep lifelong kindred spirits, what I like to call good fortune bonds. Let's begin. Because to go further, sometimes we don't need to walk faster. We need to pause, to become a more complete human being. In modern society, people are becoming more and more skilled at work, yet increasingly clumsy in how to be a person in social interaction. We spend more than half of our lives learning a trade, improving our expertise, and developing skills. But how many of us have ever been given detailed guidance on what it truly means to be a person? Where does one begin to become a successful person? There is a concept we need to reflect upon: character. So what is character, and why is it the lasting root of success? All of us have heard the saying, be a good person before you do good work. But then we grow up, surrounded by scoreboards, KPIs, deadlines, revenue, and titles, and at some point we forget the most basic truth. Success is not about what you achieve, but about the person you become. Take a closer look. Is today's society lacking in talented people? Not at all. But it is seriously lacking in people with heart. There are those who are highly skilled, yet no one wants to work with them. There are those who are standing at the peak of fame, yet feel utterly alone. Why? Because they have traded character for achievement, and may end up losing both. You see, in life, each of us does only two things: working and being a person. If you are good at your work but poor at being a person, that success is only temporary. For if the roots are not strong, how can the tree stand firm in a storm? On the other hand, if you are a good person but your career has yet to take off, that too is only temporary, but it is a promising temporary. Because when the roots are strong, the tree will bloom in time, as long as we know how to nurture it. True achievement only comes when character is complete. Character is the root, the foundation, and no matter how splendidly decorated a house may be, if the foundation is not solid, it is still just a castle built on sand. Society always encourages us to work well, but forgets to teach us to live well as a person. And that is why there are so many successful professionals, yet so few truly decent people who are genuinely respected. So, do you dare to look back? Is your character today a solid foundation or a cracked slab of concrete? Are there people walking alongside you because they admire your character, or only because of what they can gain? If you want to go far, you must be strong within. And it all begins with understanding and living true to the two words, being human. One of the most common mistakes people often fall into is thinking they are already good enough. When everything in life begins to run smoothly, when results appear, when praise starts to be heard, many people stop. They do not stop because they have reached the finish line, but because they believe they have arrived. The truth is, perfecting character is not a destination, but a journey. Perhaps most important, but perfecting character is not a test to be completed, it is a lifelong journey of cultivation. No one wakes up one morning suddenly possessing strong character. No one instantly transforms from being crude to being composed just after one course. Each inner state that is refined, each perception that is adjusted, each behavior that is examined, is a step along the path of perfection. And if there is one most dangerous thing on this journey, it is complacency. Complacency makes us stop, and when we stop on the path of growth, in reality, we are moving backward without realizing it. There is one obvious truth we often forget. Character does not lie in the grand actions one perform in audience. It lies in the small choices we make every day, the ones only we know about. It does not depend on how many times you say, "I am grateful," but on whether you truly appreciate each person and each thing when no one is watching you. To understand more deeply, we need to look at the inner structure of character. First, character is an inner emotional state, the basic recurring vibrations you carry each day: joy or anger, gratitude or dissatisfaction, patience or haste. Second, character is a state of awareness, the way you see life. Do you look at others with judgment or with empathy? Do you see opportunity in challenges or only risks? Third, character is the way you present yourself to society, through behavior, attitude, and how you treat others. It is not only about what you do, but the spirit in which you do it. All these elements shape a mental image, what others feel about you, and more importantly, what you feel about yourself each time you face the mirror. Do not be mistaken. Character is not found in your personal details, not in your degrees, and certainly not in the stories you tell about yourself. Character is something accumulated through each smallest choice when no one is watching. So, who is a person rich in character? Not someone perfect, but someone whose awareness, emotions, and actions embody positive values: joy, hope, faith, wisdom, appreciation, gratitude, love, compassion, humility, and authenticity. It may sound like an idealized list, but in reality, this is not idealizing character. It is a practical life operating system that keeps you strong from within and deeply connected to the world around you. There is one thing you must remember. You cannot fake character. You can fake skill, You can fake politeness, you can fake kindness, but you cannot fake character. Because character is what others sense, not what you explain. They sense it through your eyes, through the consistency between your words and actions, through how you treat those weaker than you, and especially through the choices you make when no one is watching. And finally, I invite you to reflect. Are you continuing to perfect your character each day? Or have you grown complacent and stopped? Are you truly living with faith, hope, and gratitude, or just borrowing those words to polish your outward image? Are you building character bit by bit or trying to create it in the eyes of others? Only you know the answer. And it is your honesty with yourself that is the starting point for the deepest journey of perfection, the journey of someone who seeks lasting achievement, beginning with living as a truly decent human being. And we will now move on to the next part of today's session. Have you ever seen a tree bear sweet fruit while its roots are rotting? Possible. And life is the same. To have the desired fruit, you must sow good causes and create favorable conditions. But for these to last and grow, you need a truly strong root, and that is character. In earlier sharings, we came to understand that character is not something to decorate yourself with in the eyes of others. It is the hidden root that nourishes everything. And today we will go deeper into a core path, the journey of cause, condition, effect. This is not a distant theory. It is the operating law of life, where every result we desire begins from what we sow. But here's the special part. Even if you sow good causes and create good conditions, without character, you will not be able to keep the fruit. Let us start with the cause. To sow good causes, you must elevate your awareness and cultivate a positive mindset. A person who lives in greed, jealousy, and selfishness, no matter how good their actions may seem, will have roots slowly eaten away by termites. Next is the condition. A person with favorable conditions is someone who knows how to practice generosity, from material positions and knowledge to smiles, trust, time, position, and reassurance. But remember, you can create conditions, yet to preserve them, you must have character. There are people who are warmly liked at first because they know how to give, but over time others begin to drift away because they lack patience, sincerity, and humility. This shows that good conditions are created by actions, but lasting conditions are preserved by character. And if you have both cause and condition, the fruit will come. More importantly, the desired fruit will come naturally, without having to compete, scheme, or cling, because that is the law. When the roots are deep enough and strong enough, the tree cannot help but bear fruit. But if the roots are weak, no matter how much fertilizer you give, the tree will still wither. Today's society has too many people longing for sweet fruit, yet very few willing to invest in the roots. They polish their image, build a personal brand, and learn new skills, but neglect to perfect their character. That is why many successful people struggle within their own inner world. If you want to live a meaningful life, do not only ask, "What am I achieving?" Ask, "Who am I becoming?" Because in the end, your true accomplishment is not in your title, but in the way you live as a human being. Not in the amount of money you earn, but in the number of people who genuinely want to walk with you. Not in fame, but in the quiet respect from those who stood by you when there was no spotlight. And if there is one thing I want you to remember, it is this: character is the root that nourishes every result. Without character, nothing good will have roots strong enough to last. You can promote yourself, you can build your personal image, but without inner depth, everything will eventually collapse over time. Because what keeps people by your side is not how outstanding you are. So, if you are on the journey to seek sweet fruit, start again from the simplest thing: strengthen your character. Let us begin this section with a question. How many times in your life have you seen someone excel at their work only to fail because there was something wrong with who they were as a person? We are all too familiar with this truth. Skills can help you move quickly, but character is what keeps you standing firm. And if you recall, in the previous part, we spoke of an irreversible principle. Character is the root. When the root is not strong, the fruit cannot stay sweet for long. Now let us step deeper into a fuller picture of the journey of cause-condition, cause-effect. Let us start with a forgotten truth. There are many people who begin with good causes, who have favorable conditions, yet still do not receive the desired fruit. Why? Because they lack the most important factor to sustain the result: the perfection of character. You see, a person can learn to work in a matter of months or years, but learning to be a person is a lifelong journey. This is not a destination, but an ongoing process with no graduation day. Each day we live is a day we must learn again how to be human, more deeply, more decently. And for that reason, never expect that you are already good enough. The day you think, "I am decent enough," is the day you begin to fall off the path of growth. What makes a person mature is not the success they have, but the awareness that they are always incomplete. If today you stop learning how to be a decent person, what will happen to you in the next 5 years? Many people become complacent when they achieve a bit of success. They do not realize that complacency is the invisible stopping point that causes them to repeat themselves, then regress without even noticing. Like a stream that appears to flow smoothly, but beneath the surface is a whirlpool, silently pulling everything into the depths. The next thing we need to recognize is the inner structure of character. It does not lie in words, nor in temporary actions. It is the crystallization of 3 elements: inner emotions, awareness, and the way we present ourselves to society. A person can pretend to be polite, but they cannot pretend to have character, because character is not in what you show others, but in what you repeat when no one is watching. Emotions like envy, selfishness, and anger, if repeated often enough, will become part of you. Conversely, if you practice gratitude, peace, and compassion over time, you will find yourself becoming someone very different. Character does not come from ideal declarations, it comes from real-life experience. You must live through real situations, loving when you are hurt, being humble when you succeed, and being truthful even when there is risk. And when we live like this long enough, we step into the model I call the person rich in character. This person is not only rich in material wealth, but also rich in positive emotions, joy, hope, and faith. They are not only courteous, but also loving, appreciative, and grateful. They live with authenticity, compassion, and humility. Not to be praised, but because they have truly become that way. And this, my friend, is true transformation. From a person good at your achievements will come, but your character is what will make those achievements last. If you are looking for a sustainable personal growth plan, do not begin with a 3-month goal or a 1-year KPI. Start with the question, what kind of person am I becoming? Humility does not make you smaller, it makes you more likable. And now, having walked through the journey of cause, condition, effect, and understanding that character is the root that nourishes all achievements, it is time to pause, slowly, to observe one essential character trait: humility. Have you noticed? A truly successful person is not the one who earns the loudest applause, but the one who makes others want to follow them for the long term. That kind of influence does not come from power, nor from status, but from humility. A humble person is someone others want to walk alongside, not because of what they have, but because of who they are. They do not need to force anyone to join them. They win people over with their heart, their generosity, and their ability to help others grow when near them. If no one is walking alongside me, perhaps I am not humble enough. At first, I thought he was just being modest, but then I realized this is a powerful truth that few dare to face. The absence of people willing to accompany you is evidence of a character lacking depth. A truly humble person does not hold on to people with material things, but with value. They do not cling to people, they lift them up. And that is what activates favorable conditions. I often picture humility like a rice plant. If young rice bows its head, it gets trampled. If ripe rice stands tall, it gets cut down. Humility is knowing when to bow and when to stand tall. It is the flexibility of the inner self, the wisdom in one's approach to life. Have you ever noticed the power of the like button? It is not just an action, it is recognition, and when you learn how to acknowledge others, even those who are more skilled than you are opening the door for talent to come closer. Humility is not hiding your own talent, but recognizing that others also have theirs. I call this the SA mindset, skills supporting another. A truly intelligent person not only knows, but also admits, "You are better than me in this area." That statement does not make you lesser. On the contrary, it makes you more mature. Humility is not a behavior, it is a state of the inner self. You can smile and speak gently, but if inside you is arrogance, others will feel it. Conversely, a heart full of gratitude will reveal humility through a single glance, through the way you listen. Because they understand achievements come from people. Every step they have taken bears the footprints of someone who guided them, walked with them, or supported them. And when that awareness runs deep enough, arrogance becomes impossible. A humble character is the key to keeping good connections and building personal reputation. Without recognition, there will be no talented people walking alongside you. Without gratitude, there will be no sustainable environment for growth. Therefore, perfect your character through genuine humility, because in the end, the person others enjoy being around is the most successful person of all. And now, as you have walked with me to the very end of today's journey, I just want to invite you to pause for a moment. Not to think more, but to feel again. To feel once more each thing you have just heard, each image you have just pictured, of a humble person, of a strong and steady character, and of yourself, quietly gazing into the mirror of your own inner world. My dear friend, what you have just heard is not for you to believe immediately, but to contemplate slowly, because when character is perfected, when humility is no longer just an appearance, but becomes a way of life, you will realize that there is no need to rush, because what is truly valuable will find its way to you naturally. If you feel that today's message has touched something within you, do not be quick to press like or share, unless you truly feel the need to pass this on to someone else who is also searching for the roots, just like you. If you feel that this is a place that helps you live more deeply each day, then consider subscribing to the channel. Not for me, but for you. so that each week when a new message arrives, you will be there, in time, ready to listen. Because outward success begins with inner awakening. I am Liam Johnson. I look forward to seeing you in the next part, where we will not stop at knowledge, but continue to explore true growth from within yourself.